So Impact kicked off this week with Bully Ray coming down to the ring with his big announcement that he has a new Twitter account. Woo! But really, he just comes down there and starts talking about Joseph Park and the challenge that he laid out last week, and he just basically says, "You don't put out challenges to me. You don't tell me what to do. You get your ass down here." So Joseph Park comes down to the ring, and basically Ray accepts his challenge. That's what he's talking about. It's basically gonna be the same match that it was at Slammiversary. Pretty much anything goes, no rules, this and that. But with one catch, there will be no Abyss there because Bully Ray shows up with a restraining order that he gives to Joseph, and basically says if he shows up in the building at all, he will go to jail and he will rot. But then as he's leaving, he nails Joseph Park in the back, which basically ends that segment. It was okay. It was an alright opening segment. At least it was short. That's about what you can say about this. Otherwise, next. Then you have a little clip of the Hulkster and Austin Aries in his office, just basically talking about his match with Robert Roode on Sunday for the World Heavyweight Championship, and then how he's got to give up the X Division title by the end of the show, and that's about all that segment's really about. So, next segment. So then next we get another television championship match. It's kind of been put on the back burner the last few weeks now that the Bound for Glory series has started up again, and it's Devon defending against Crimson. You know, when I first saw Crimson come down the ring for this match, I was thinking, God, maybe Devon's going to lose this title. I mean, because Crimson is coming off his first loss at Slammiversary to the returning James Storm, and boy, this is a really short match. Devon ends up going over clean, which really surprised the hell out of me. But I don't know what they're gonna do with Crimson now. Are they gonna break him down to build him back up again, or what? Or what are they gonna do? Your guess is probably about as good as mine. And then after the match, old goat face herself, Madison Rayne, comes down to the ring, and she's going to reveal her crush that they've been kind of building up the last few weeks. And Devon's kind of looking at her. It's like, no, she just pushes them away. And it's Earl Hebner. Really? Earl Hebner, guy that's almost old enough to be her grandpa. Seriously? That's what they built up for? Wow. Boy, that kind of threw me for a loop there, I tell you that much. Earl's pacemaker is probably going out of control or something, I don't know, but whatever, I guess. Then next you had Chris Sabin coming down the ring for his first promo since he tore up his other knee a couple weeks ago on Impact Wrestling in that Ultimate X match. Yeah, God. Boy, if there wasn't such a thing as bad luck, Chris Sabin wouldn't have any luck at all, I don't think. But he gets interrupted by the World Heavyweight Champion Bobby Roode. It's like, at first glance I was thinking, what the hell does Bobby Roode have to do with this? But when you look deeper into it, it's like, Chris Sabin is an X Division wrestler. And Austin Aries is right now he's the X Division champion, so in a way this kind of does make sense. But he just basically tells him he's pathetic with all the injuries that he's sustained, at least the last couple of years, and then talking about other people that have been hurt, like Jesse Sorensen with his broken neck that he suffered in that match against Zema Ion. But basically, Roode attacks Sabin, kicks him into into his bad knee, and then he's beating him down a little bit, and then Austin Aries comes down for the save, and that's about all this segment had, and just it kind of makes sense because Rude's kind of tearing down the X division, kind of like what Bully Ray did about a year or two ago. But I guess I can see the point of the segment when you look deeper into it. So, okay, the next match you had was an X Division qualifying match between Dakota Darso, the son of Barry Darso, who was in the tag team Demolition as Smash. Played a bunch of other characters like Repo Man. He was also Crusher Khrushchev, the Blacktop Belly, etc., etc. Going against Flip Casanova, a guy who I had never seen before until tonight. This is actually a pretty decent match. Casanova goes over with it's kind of like a shooting star press, kind of a knee drop sort of thing. Looked like he kind of botched it a little bit, but he ends up getting the win. Darso ends up looked like he kind of had a broken nose at the end of the match. But other than that, Casanova advances to the Ultimate X match at Destination X for the X Division title, soon to be vacated. So it was good, I thought. And next they had that recap of last week's gut check segment with Taylor Hendricks, and she did get her contract. And speaking of the gut check segment, I'm surprised that they didn't mention anything about Joey Ryan this week. I mean, yeah, granted he's technically not with the company, but which kind of makes you wonder if he really is, since they've been teasing the little angle with Taz and that. But be interested to see what comes of that, and be interested to see what they do with Taylor Hendricks going forward, since TNA seems to love their redheads. When you got Christy Hemme as your ring announcer, you got SoCal Val there, and now you got another redhead with Taylor Hendricks. So, okay, well, it was originally supposed to be a knockout championship match this week. Ended up getting pushed back to next week. But instead of that, we get a tag team match between Gail Kim and the goat face herself, Madison Rayne, against Tara and the knockout champ, Miss Tessmacher. One thing I will say about the TNA knockout division is at least they get a little bit of time to work in the ring, which is something you don't really see in WWE with their divas. And I think the TNA knockout division as a whole is better than the WWE division itself, their diva division. Well, Tara and Miss Tessmacher go over. Tara hits the widow's peak on Madison Rayne, and that's a good decision, I thought. I mean, you don't have to involve Gail Kim or Tessmacher in the decisions, and so they're going to go at it next week and then see where it goes from there. Alright, then you had your 1 hour main event segment, and proving once again that you can't have AJ Styles without Christopher Daniels, and vice versa. AJ Styles comes out of the ring, he addresses the allegations from last week with Kazarian and Daniels. Daniels basically accusing him of being the father of the crack whore's unborn child. And then basically what this all sets up is a last man standing match on Sunday at Destination X between AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. And boy, would it be too much to ask for this to be over after Sunday? I know I'm asking a lot here, but it probably won't be over because it is AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels, and you can't fucking have one without the other. Then we go back to Hogan in his office, and you got the backstage interviewer guy or whoever the hell he is, asking him what he thinks about the Aries Rude match on Sunday, the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then you have somebody giving him a piece of paper with eights and aces on it, saying, "We're not cowards. We'll see you next week." It's supposed to be the guys that attacked Sting a couple weeks ago, and it'll be interesting to see where that goes from there. And next segment. All right, then you had another X Division qualifying match, and when Kenny King came down to the ring, I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing here? Like, isn't he one half of the ROH World Tag Team Champions that they won at Best in the World about a week and a half ago? But then come to find out that his ROH contract expired on July 3rd, and they basically had a handshake agreement saying that he could explore other options as long as he didn't wrestle for them. Well, I guess he basically threw that out the window because he ended up wrestling Lars only in the match. Kenny King won, which is the right decision, but I'm just thinking, God, if they're bringing a guy like Kenny King in to do this, just straight out of his ROH contract, one would almost have you believe he's going to be the X Division champion on Sunday now, wouldn't you think? But otherwise, the match itself was pretty decent, I thought, so. Okay, next you had basically your main event match. Maybe not your main event segment, but your main event match between Cowboy James Storm and Jeff Hardy. Bound for Glory Series match. One thing you can say about this match is that the crowd they were into this from beginning to end. And Hardy ends up winning with the twist of fate after avoiding the last call super kick of James Storm. And Hardy ends up going over clean, which really doesn't hurt Storm any because he's still got a big lead in the Bound for Glory Series match, and it really helped Jeff Hardy because he really needed the points in this match. So I have no problem with Hardy going over on this, and that win elevates Hardy to third in the standings, and I thought it was a really good match myself. Okay, main event segment with Hogan coming down to the ring and calls out Austin Aries to bring him down the X Division title. But he doesn't get Austin Aries right away, brother, because he gets the World Heavyweight Champion Robert Roode coming down to the ring. And they have another good back and forth exchange. And they've had this several times on Impact shows. And that they seem to know how to play off each other back and forth, And then Aries ends up coming down the ring and he gives Roode three options. Option A is he can just give Hogan the X Division title and tuck his tail between his legs and leave. Or he can climb to the ring casually and give Hogan the X Division title and just say, hey, I'll see you on Sunday. But I'm not a big fan of option A or B. I like to go with option C, where we can just get it going right now. We don't have to wait until Sunday. Roode acts like he's gonna leave, then he tries to hit him with the belt. Aries ducks and then he clucks Roode upside the head with the X Division title. And the last thing you see in the ring this week is Aries holding up both belts high above his head, and Hogan's right there with him, and that's the end of the show. And I thought that was a really good segment. Okay, my final thoughts on this week's Impact. I tell you what, TNA for the last few weeks has been an excellent show. I mean, TNA has been by far and large way better than a WWE Raw show, and it's even been better than SmackDown. I mean, yeah, it was a surprise to me to see Crimson job out in about 3-4 minutes against Devon. I was really surprised about that because I thought Crimson had actually won that match, but shows you what I know sometimes. Then the X Division qualifying matches were decent. I was more surprised to see Kenny King come down for the in that X Division qualifying match when he just left ROH, or he just got fired from there for breach of contract. Then the Storm Hardy match was really good. Then the last segment with Hogan and Aries and Roode, I thought that was a good segment also, and from top to bottom, I was entertained throughout this whole show. And please let it be the end of AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Please. I'm begging you. Anyway, that being said, I'm Marvelous Mark signing off for now. See ya. Bye.